Hey guys, it's great to see you. Today we're not looking at one but two new releases, and that is CSP 1.74 Preview 98 and the new Content Manager, and I'm going to go through these in detail, just show you some of the new features and fixes that are now available for your Assetto Corsa. So let's have a look what we're going to go through. Content Manager, the new CSP, all the updates and features, the new rain effects and the experimental physics. So first things first, the new version of CSP 1.74 is available on Ilya's Patreon site. It's a few dollars a month to get access to that. You don't need to subscribe for more than 1 month if you just want the latest version. So do check out the link in the description and access that, and you can download the new Content Manager and the new preview version of CSP, which includes all the new rain pieces that we're going to talk about today. The first thing we're going to do then is install manually the new Content Manager. Now my Content Manager is installed on my desktop, and I'm just going to click on About here, and you can see the version number that we're on there, and that's 0.8.2745. So I'm just doing a quick check on that because we're going to update this manually, and I'm going to show you how easy that is. So once you've just checked the version you're on, what you need to do is come out of the main Content Manager, and then you're just going to extract the new version of Content Manager straight onto your desktop or where you've actually got your Content Manager installed. You can see this is a different version number here, so this is the right one. So all we're going to do is extract into that location, and we're just going to overwrite. So it's all very simple, and you can see there it's asking to overwrite. They are different files there, and we're just going to say yes there, and that's actually done that. Now once you've done that, it's always worth checking that the new version of Content Manager is actually installed, so just double check it. So we're going to open that up, and then we're just going to go to the About section again, and you can see now we have a different version of Content Manager installed, so that's all worked correctly. This will also be available in-app very soon. Now we're going to install the new version of CSP 1.74, and again a very quick tutorial if you've not done this before. All we're actually going to do is drag and drop onto Content Manager, and that will install it. The first thing to do though is just check what version of custom shader patch you're actually on. As you can see here, I've got last month's preview edition, preview 33, and you will notice that that has got a different kind of highlight to the other ones there. If you do click on one of the other ones, it will actually install it, but you can only install these preview versions by dragging and dropping. So every time you install it, you have to drag and drop. So I'm just going to copy that over, and you can see at the top there I've got my three little bars, and it's saying do I want to install, and I'm going to say yes, and that's updating over existing files. That's fine, and you can see there's different versions, so you know exactly what you're going to install. Once you've done that, it's really important to actually restart Content Manager, so that's what we're going to do. And then when you open Content Manager back up and click on the About section here in Custom Shader Patch, you can see I'm on Preview 88. If you do not restart, it might not refresh and it might not show you there. Of course, you can click any of the other ones at any time to go on to another version. Before we check out the new features and fixes, let's just have a look at a quick mod. So I'm dropping this mod in the description. This is the Formula Vector 1.1. This is by Jackman3 from Race Department. This is engine and electric, 1,269 brake horsepower. Loads of fun to drive, and there's some more gameplay footage in this video, so check that out. Let's take a look at some of the fixes and improvements then in this version of CSP. So we've got tyre detection improved, puddle improvements, water thickness and tyres fixed, windscreen and wiper improvements, raindrops improvements, lots of different versions of that, reworked refraction, rain occlusion fixed, the improvements to wet tracks, rain effect volume improvements, screenshot improvements, visual wetness on tyres fixed, and lots more of little bug fixes. There are a couple of other improvements that Ilya's given us a visual representation of, so I'm just going to go through those in a moment. But before I do, I just want to talk about rain, because I do get a number of questions about this on the channel. So if you've got this preview version of rain, you will have this rain debug mode as well. It'll be in one of your apps, so do make sure it's selected in apps in Content Manager. Now if you're clicking on the debug rain piece there, you've actually got sliders where you can change the track manually. So you can change the wetness on the track, you can change the wetness generally on the car, and you can change how much rain there is. So not only does CSP work with Sol to make sure that the rain comes down on all the preset configs, you can actually manually change those as well. And this is a great way, for instance, to have a really wet track but still have it sunny or very little rain in the air. So really it is infinitely configurable to how you want it to look. I also want to take a quick look at experimental physics. So with these versions of CSP, you have got very different physics, and as you can see here, the cars on the wet with their slick tyres are absolutely having a whale of a time. To switch this on, you actually have to go into Content Manager and Drive, and you'll see there's a little tick box right at the bottom there. If you then go on to Drive itself, you will see you've got a tick box at the bottom underneath the car to enable experimental physics. That will give you all the experimental rain physics with slick tyres and different tyre compounds, as you can see here. So I said there were some new features, and this is the first one. This feature here that Ilya's been working on is to fix the visual shaking. And as you can see the before and after, that there's a big difference in the way that that is displaying the dashboard. The second one is shadows, and as you can see as I move this across left and right, you can see the shadows appearing underneath the lorry, next to the fuel pumps, and also on the other vehicles that are in the pits there. That is really cool. And then the last comparison to look at is the new human surface shader. Now this is only a subtle difference, but you know you can change the driver in Assetto Corsa. And as you can see here, we've got a human driver in there with the race helmet taken off, and you can see that there's some great changes there to the way that the driver looks. Really cool stuff. Lastly, there are a couple of final improvements to call out. The first is the drying cycle. I know I've mentioned it earlier on, but it's much more realistic now on the cars, and that is a really good addition to the way that this CSP patch works. And the second one is the new version of Content Manager gives online admins the ability to give penalties, and I know there's going to be more development on that. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed that video. There's lots more to come from Ilya and Peter. I know Solve 2.1 is probably not far away, and we're all looking forward to that. As ever, do check out the rest of the channel. There's lots more sim racing on there, and if you like what you see, I'd love to have you on board, so do click on that subscribe button. See you soon, guys.